Hello everyone, welcome to the lecture of course Mechanical System Design. We are learning about the unit design of machine tool gearboxes. In the previous lecture, we learned about 3 points such as what is the need of a gearbox in a machine tool, how we can decide speed steps in given speed range of the machine tool, and lastly, what are the different laws for speed regulation in gearboxes. In the last topic, we learned there are two laws of speed regulation such as arithmetic progression or AP and geometric progression or GP. In this lecture, we will compare these two laws of speed regulation and decide with which law we should go ahead. We have already seen in arithmetic progression, difference between two successive speeds is constant, whereas in geometric progression, ratio between two successive speeds is constant. In order to compare both these speed laws, let us consider one example. Suppose we have to design a gearbox having speed range from 100 rpm to 1200 rpm. We have decided that the total number of speed steps should be 12 in this gearbox, and for a given tool and workpiece material combination, the optimum cutting speed is 100 meters per minute. Let us first design this gearbox considering arithmetic progression. Putting the values of Nmax, Nmin and Z, we get common difference AT is equal to 100. Thus, for 12 speeds, we can calculate the value of the speed. Also, if you see the third column, we can calculate the diameter which can be economically manufactured using this particular gearbox. Now if you observe this particular economical diameters, you will realize that if you observe particularly the upper half of this gearbox, you can realize that the diameters are spaced far away from each other, which means if we want to manufacture the diameter which is lying in between two economical diameters, the loss of economic cutting speed will be more. Similarly, if you observe the bottom half of this particular table, you will realize that now the diameters are spaced very close to each other, which means if we want to manufacture the diameter, any random diameter lying between two economical diameters, then the loss of economic cutting speed will be lesser. Which means if we have designed the gearbox considering arithmetic progression, it will be good for high speed operations, since the loss of economic cutting speed will be less. Let us do similar analysis for a gearbox manufactured or designed using geometric progression. Using this formula and given putting the values of Nmax, Nmin and Z, we can calculate the geometric progression ratio phi is 1.25. Thus we can calculate 12 speed steps using this formula. Similarly, we can calculate the economical diameters which can be manufactured using these spindle speeds by the formula V equal to pi dn by 1000, which we have already seen in the previous lecture. Again, if you observe the upper half of this diagram as compared to the previous table, we can say that now the diameters are closely spaced as compared to the previous table. Thus, it will result in lesser loss of economic cutting speed as compared to a gearbox designed using AP. If you observe the bottom half of this diagram, you will realize that the diameters are slightly spaced away as compared to a gearbox designed considering arithmetic progression. Thus we can say that a gearbox using geometric progression as a law of speed regulation will be good at low speed operations or higher diameters. However, If we observe the lower half of this table, the extent of loss of economic cutting speed as compared to a gearbox with AP is not very high. Therefore, we can safely say that if a gearbox is designed considering GP, then overall loss of economic cutting speed will be lesser as compared to AP. Let us consider a simple example. If we want to manufacture a shaft having diameter 30 mm, which lies between these two diameters, then operator will operate the lathe either at 900 rpm or 1000 rpm, preferably 1000 rpm to reduce the loss of economic cutting speed. If the same shaft is being manufactured on this gearbox using GP, then the operator will either operate it at 764 or 957, preferably 957. So the loss of economic cutting speed will be lesser. So if you compare losses in both the cases, there is not much difference in the loss. However, for lower speed or higher diameters, let us say if you want to manufacture a shaft of 200 mm diameter, then for this gearbox we have to choose second speed steps, which is at 200 rpm. The loss of economic cutting speed will be huge in this case. For a gearbox with using GP, we may run the lathe at spindle speed 157, so that the diameter of 200 mm can be manufactured economically. If you observe, the loss of economic cutting speed is very less in this case. This discussion is valid for various random economic cutting speeds, which makes geometric progression preferable over arithmetic progression, due to the reason that it results in lesser loss of economic cutting speed across the speed range of the gearbox. Let us talk about one more point. If we are using arithmetic progression, then we have to use simple gear train. If you want to design a simple gear train having 12 speed steps, we will have two shafts. One of them will be a driving shaft, other will be the driven shaft. On the driving shaft there will be 12 gear wheels. Similarly, there will be 12 driven gear wheels corresponding to the driving wheels. So total we have to use 24 gear wheels, and you can imagine the length of the gearbox will be substantial. Another important aspect with geometric progression is that we can make use of compound gear train if we are using geometric progression. Let us see with an example. This is a kinematic diagram of a 12-speed gearbox using compound gear train. You can see there are 4 shafts, out of which the first shaft is the input shaft, which is connected to the electric motor, which is having a constant speed, and the last shaft, that is shaft 4, is the output shaft, which will be connected to the spindle of a lathe. Compound gear train is one in which the driven shaft of one stage will be driving shaft in the next stage. Let us understand this arrangement. Shaft number 1 and 2, if you observe over here, there are 2 driving gears and 2 driven gears. This comprises of stage 1. Shaft 2 is the driven gear for stage 1. It becomes driving gear for stage 2. Thus, stage 2 will have 2 driving gears on shaft 2 and 2 driven gears on shaft 3. So there will be total 2 gear pairs. Now shaft 3 will become driving gear for stage 3 and shaft 4 will be the driven gear of stage 3. You can observe there are 3 gear pairs in the stage 3. Let us understand how many output speeds this particular compound gear train can have. Shaft 1 can have only one speed as it is connected to a constant speed prime mover such as an electric motor. For one speed of shaft 1, shaft 2 can have two different speeds depending upon which gear pair is engaged. Thus, shaft 2 can have two different speeds. For one speed of shaft 2, shaft 3 can have two different speeds depending upon which gear pair is engaged. However, shaft 2 itself can have two different speeds. Thus, shaft 3 can have 2 into 2, 4 different speeds. Now please remember this value. If you observe stage 3, for one particular speed of shaft 3, shaft 4 can have 3 different speeds depending upon which gear pair is engaged. However, shaft 3 itself can have 3 different speeds. Therefore, shaft 4 can have 4 different speeds. So shaft 4 will have 4 into 3, 12 different speeds. So the objective of achieving 12 speeds has been satisfied. What we have to observe over here is how many gear wheels we have used. So in total 4 plus 4 8 plus 6 14 gear wheels have been used as compared to 24 gear wheels which we have used in a simple gear train. This results in substantial saving of material cost. Moreover, if you imagine, as far as space management is concerned, compound gearbox is not having very high length. It has used the length and width properly so that space management can be done. This is the benefit of using compound gear train, and which is possible only with geometric progression. Therefore, geometric progression has to be preferred over arithmetic progression for two main reasons. Number one, it results in constant and minimum loss of economic cutting speed across the entire speed range of the gearbox, as we have seen in the previous slide. And then it results in better gearbox design feature since it facilitates use of compound gear train. In the next lecture, we will learn how to start design of the gearbox as far as various gear ratios are concerned. Thank you.